Hello, my name is KARL-JAMES Langford. I'm an archaeologist, and this is my video of Dryslwyn Castle, overlooking the picturesque and very deep Towy Valley. This site itself is a site that sets itself in a place in history that is otherwise lost. The native peoples of Cymru, otherwise known as Wales, did in fact build castles. This isn't a normal Norman castle at all. This site derives its origins to the princes of Dryslwyn, that was an independent principality that existed before its complete dismantling at the end of the 1200s. The origins of this self lay well away from the Norman bloody conquest of Wales, which took place over 200 years. The origins of this site lay its very footprint to Rhys ap Gruffydd. Rhys ap Gruffydd was one of a number of Rhyses that took the title of Prince of Dryslwyn. But in the middle of the 1100s, this powerful leader built a number of castles, and Dryslwyn is no exception to that. So what I'd like to do is head us up these stairs, and either side it's probable that there's a door jamb, and in fact the stairs themselves probably date to much later. The ground level has been built up here over many hundreds and hundreds of years. There are signs of excavation at this site, but very little of it has been excavated. So we're very much dependent upon the historical records for this site and the landscape. Passing up the rocky outcrop that this castle is sited upon. And at this minute we're within around the inner ward area. There are 3 wards for this site, and we're going up some original stairway here, and we're looking down. Look at that wonderful view, the escarpment there, and we're also looking down there directly in front at the garderobe. This is actually the toilet area. As we look again towards the castle, you can't deny that this is extremely impressive, and would have been undeniably more impressive if it was not for the destruction that this site suffered under the hands of the Norman oppressors. It's likely that a large amount of this castle was in the throes of construction by the 1200s. The origin of this site probably lay its origins all the way back to the Iron Age. But again, very little archaeological work has been undertaken to date this site. As we continue on with this site, if this site was archaeologically excavated on a very large scale, it's likely that we'd be able to understand the site a lot better than we do from the historical records. Historical records usually lie, and they're written down by the people who usually conquer a land. So coming into about the 1200s, by about 1216, Llywelyn ap Iorwerth, Llywelyn the Great from North Wales, Prince of Gwynedd, saw these types of sites as being integral to his reign, and it's likely a large amount of investment was made into Dryslwyn Castle at that time. Coming into about the 1240s, 1256, more of the site was extended. We see the fact that the site has 3 wards, and it overlooked a borough. It's its own native town here. You're looking around at the walls through this footage as I'm talking, and there's quite a substantial amount that has survived within what you're seeing today. There has been areas of reconstruction, and the areas of reconstruction are usually found, and you can actually tell that they've inserted a tile below the area that the reconstruction has actually taken place. There's lots of nooks and crannies that you can actually wander around this site. And we're actually seeing that towards this area now, we're heading towards an area where there's a round tower. This round tower itself was a substantial round tower. It would have been a tower that had been painted white, that would have shone out across the landscape, would have been seen for miles. And this white tower itself, again, tells you of the money that was being invested into this castle through the whole of the 1200s. Alas, this castle itself suffered greatly greatly from the campaigns of Edward I, and the site itself lasted the uprising of Llywelyn the Last, and it survived in the hands of another Rhys ap Meredydd. And it survived because Rhys ap Meredydd, instead of siding with the prince from North Wales, decided to side with Edward I. Unfortunately, with a falling out with Edward I, Rhys felt that he could rebel himself and create his own principality. You know, the last Prince of Wales, Llywelyn, last great Prince of Wales, Llywelyn, was killed on the 11th of December 1282. And in 1292, this site had fallen into the hands of Edward I. The site completely, well, in areas completely demolished, and this was no longer in the hands of a native prince. This area now is actually fascinating. This is the area of the borough of Dryslwyn. So this was a native borough where all the native traders would go. You can actually see a building in front of you. Where I'm walking on now is actually the perimeter wall of the borough. So there's lots of humps and bumps, and over there directly in front of you where the tree is, that's the gateway into the borough and sort of the castellated area as well. And there would have been a church here, there would have been all sorts of other buildings. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. This is KARL-JAMES Langford, Archaeology Cymru, and hopefully you've picked up a few bits and pieces. It's an absolutely beautiful site. Well recommended. It's in Carmarthenshire, and if you ever get an opportunity to see it, please do. Thank you very much.